Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because we are going to be talking about some unexpected makeup favorites. Now, a few weeks ago, I did my unexpected makeup failures, which was a video inspired by Julia Musicato and her channel. She, I do believe, also did unexpected makeup loves or favorites or whatever, something along those lines. So I will have her channel as well as her video linked down below since she was the one who inspired this video. But basically today we're going to be talking about makeup products that I wasn't expecting to love as much as I do. These truly have become like tippity top favorites within my collection, and when I purchased them obviously thinking I would like them, but maybe not knowing that I would fall truly madly deeply in love with them. I feel like I look greasy. I'm wearing like a matte foundation and I really didn't even put on like a dewy setting mist, but I feel like we're looking greasy. Anyway, you guys, if you are interested in seeing 10 makeup favorites, 10 unexpected makeup favorites, stay tuned. First, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you'll consider doing so before you go today. I do post videos 4 days a week, sometimes 5 if I have my stuff together. But other than that, let's just jump into the video. Okay, so I want to start with my oldest makeup, unexpected makeup favorite, the oldest one in my collection. And this is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. This is a limited edition palette that you can no longer get. I believe this released 2 years ago, and when I purchased this, the main reason I purchased this palette is because I used to be a festy girl, a raver, etc. So the whole like festival theme of the palette truly just spoke to me. And no matter really what was inside, I felt like I needed to have this palette. Inside, you have a very vibrant, colorful palette. Honestly, not something that I reach for often. I don't reach for color or play around with color too often. So realistically, I just purchased this because it truly spoke to those festival vibes. And this has become one of my favorite palettes throughout my entire collection. Now, I still don't reach into the color within this palette all that much, but as you can see, I do even have pan in one of the shades in this palette. I absolutely love the brown, the warm brown mattes in this palette. There are some really beautiful shimmers. Boho is one of my favorite shimmers, the one that has pan. I also love Magical, Solstice, Flash. Trixie is a really beautiful inner corner highlight. This Carnival shade is honestly really beautiful as well. It's like this silvery blue shade. And I also love this like iridescent purple in the shade Spirit. Honestly, the quality of this, I believe this palette retailed for, it was either $18 or $20. You get a mirror in it, which is phenomenal. And the quality is so good. The shimmers are so foiled, it looks like metal on your eyes without wetting your brush. The mattes are so easy to blend, and these last all day. And what I love about this is it's almost like a non-intimidating colorful palette. Even though some of the shades do look a little bit intimidating, it's just a great addition to a palette collection because it has the neutrals, but it also has so many fun pops of color as well. It makes me so sad that you can't get this anymore, but I absolutely love this palette and I definitely was not expecting to at all. Sticking with the palette theme, I also wasn't expecting to love the Tarte Unleashed palette. I actually purchased this palette on a whim. The outer packaging of this fits the like jungle theme of my room. That's funny. So this they released last summer. I believe it was celebrating like 20 years of cruelty free. And I really was not planning to pick this up at all, but I had points at Ulta that I was redeeming and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick this up. It looks like a pretty palette, and honestly, I love this. I like that the pans in this, the pan sizes, like the actual pan, is larger than your average Tarte palette. You still get the same amount of product, but I don't know, I just like that the pans are larger. You also get this really large mirror, which I love, very easy for travel. And I like that Tarte sort of stepped outside their comfort zone and added a few pops of color. I love this top row, which is a bunch of beautiful mauve shades, and then you also have like your just warm neutral tones that you can play around with as well. And then if you want to add a pop of color, you do have these blues that you can add a pop with. I've mentioned this before, but the only real letdown of a shade in this palette is this shade right here, which is in the shade Hawkward. I was expecting this to be a really beautiful green shade, but because this doesn't have much of a base to it, it just didn't perform the way that I was hoping that it would, and I've tried it many ways. But other than that shade, I love this palette. The shimmers in this palette perform really well. Again, you can use it with a dry brush and you're gonna get that high intensity, high impact sort of foiled look. And the mattes perform really well as well. This shade right here, Camouflage, looks to have some micro glitter in it, but it doesn't like appear on the eyes. I was worried about that because I really wanted to use this shade, but didn't love that there was like the micro milled, finely milled glitter in there, but it does not translate onto the eyes at all. So I, again, unexpectedly fell in love with this palette from Tarte. Next up, I have a concealer to talk about, and I am really picky when it comes to concealers. I don't know what it is. I'm just very picky about my concealers. I ended up picking up the Juvia's, I believe this is the I Am Magic concealer, on a whim. I don't even remember why I purchased this, but I wasn't even expecting to like it. Like, I was expecting that I probably was going to hate this concealer, so why I purchased it, I really don't know. It wasn't like I even watched a review or watched someone recommend it. I just was in store and decided to pick this up. I thought that because the foundation that was launched with this, or like in the same line, etc., was like the super full coverage foundation that I think was supposed to be on the matte side, I figured that this was going to be super mattifying and super drying, but it is not, you guys. This feels very hydrating underneath the eyes. I picked mine up in the shade 19. I felt like color matching was a little bit difficult with this. This is more of like my actual shade, not any lighter, which is fine. Sometimes I really like to go just like my actual skin tone, or like just like a half a shade lighter underneath my eyes. Now this does offer a nice full coverage matte finish, but it still feels very hydrating underneath the eyes. It never looks crepey. It doesn't crease too bad on me, and set with a powder, it's really beautiful. I was very surprised at how this looked underneath my eyes. Again, I was expecting to hate this, but I wouldn't say this is my favorite concealer, because I've recently really fallen hard for the Hourglass concealer, but this would definitely rank up there as one of my top concealers, and that was very unexpected for me. I have two foundations to talk about. The first is the L'Oreal Pro Matte foundation. Now, I love the L'Oreal Pro Glow foundation and have for so many years. I've purchased and gone through so many tubes of that, and the reason I wasn't expecting to fall in love or to like the Pro Matte is because I typically like a more natural or leaning like luminous / dewy finish for my foundation. So I figured because this was a matte foundation, I just wasn't gonna like it. I also thought I saw reviews saying that this was a very matte foundation. Fun fact, this is actually the foundation I have on my face today, and I feel like I'm looking hella dewy. I did mix this with the Revlon Photo Ready like Candid foundation, but I freaking love this foundation. I love this on its own, and I especially love this as a mixer foundation. This I mix with any foundation that I want to last just a little bit longer, because I feel like this foundation in particular has a really good lasting power, or a really good wear time. And I have gone through, I believe, 2 if not 3 tubes of this. Again, I was expecting to purchase this. I just wanted to kind of see how it compared to the Pro Glow, and I was expecting that I probably would declutter it, but I fell in love with this. I remember there was 1 month, not this past December, I think, not this past December, but December 2018, I believe, I exclusively used this foundation and used it up within like a month. I just fell in love with this foundation, and I definitely wasn't expecting to. And then the other foundation is actually a tinted moisturizer. So this is the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer, and this is the illuminating one. Now this is the old version. I know that they have since reformulated, and I did buy the reformulated version. I figured I was gonna like this when I purchased it. I really just needed a tinted moisturizer, something light coverage for last summer to wear like to work, etc. But I fell hard for this. This was like all I wore to work last summer. And I loved to mix this actually with another product that I'm about to talk about, which is the Drunk Elephant Deep Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. I figured these were going to be more of like a gimmicky sort of product and weren't actually going to work the way that they were supposed to, but no matter what shade I was last summer, I would mix these two together. I have the shade Bare Radiance in the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. I would mix these two together. They would match my skin perfectly. I would have this beautiful bronzed face, and I was just so in love. And I was, again, not expecting to really fall in love with either of these. I don't know why. If I didn't think I was gonna love this, I spent $47 on a tinted moisturizer, but thank goodness I did. I'm actually working on finishing this guy up so that I can move on to my other tinted moisturizers. I'm almost done, but you guys, I fell in love with this so hard. And then again, I thought the Deep Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops from Drunk Elephant were going to be a gimmick. I almost purchased the full size many times, and then I tried the sample size. This is the second sample size tube that I'm going through. These last a really good amount of time, the sample size. They last about 30 uses. When I finish this up, I will most definitely be purchasing the full size. I don't remember if these have SPF in it, but it's supposed to have some sort of skincare benefit as well. And again, this just helps match your foundation, especially throughout the summertime. And you can even use these by themselves just to give your skin sort of a bronzed glow. So I really fell in love with these two, which is kind of a shame because this is really expensive. I believe the full size is $36, but I definitely will be purchasing the full size when I finish this little sample off. Okay, I have two blushes to mention. The first one I thought that I would like, but when it comes to blush, it's not like I ever truly fall like in love with the product until I purchased the Buxom Primer Infused Wanderlust blush in Seychelles. You guys, this is the most beautiful blush, seriously, of all time. It is the most beautiful, just neutrally nude blush with a sheen, and I cannot get enough of it. It is just so pretty. And if you have pale skin, if you are really fair, it looks really pretty on your skin. It just adds a little bit of like bronziness to your skin. And then if you have a nice bronze summer tan going, this just amplifies it and just makes you look like a Victoria's Secret model on the beach in like the most sexy swimsuit ever. I don't know, that's just what I imagined. I just freaking fell in love with this blush. I cannot get enough of it. It's so good. I also purchased Mykonos, which I really haven't used a ton of. It's like this really bright coral blush, but I cannot wait to pull that one out in the summertime as well. But this blush, you guys, I'm telling you, is the most beautiful blush ever. Okay, and then the next product is not a product that I use very often, but I did for a cream blush. I really did fall in love with this, and I was not expecting to. I purchased this on a whim. This was in the impulse section of death at Sephora, where you walk in, you're just like, you've got your blinders on, you're not trying to look at anything because everything is so cute, but then you're like waiting in line to check out, and then like you accidentally look to the left and just, you're doomed. And that is what happened. And then I saw this little cute little Milk Makeup blush stick, and I was like, you know what? Why not? I don't even like cream blush, but why not? Why not give this a try? So this is in the shade Work, and it is a really beautiful blush shade. And this is so creamy and so easy to blend, so easy to use. That's what it looks like blended out. I love wearing a tinted moisturizer and this with my Milk lipstick to the gym to just give me this beautiful like flushed cheek and like already glistening sweaty glow to the face. I don't know, I really like the Milk cream products. I think they're really nice. I also really like the Milk Baked bronzer stick. If you are looking to dabble in cream products, I would recommend anything by Milk in their cream line because I just think they're very user-friendly and very easy to use. When I purchased this, like seriously, as the cashier was checking me out, in my head, I'm like, why in the heck am I even buying this? I do not like cream products. But then I tried it, and I actually really enjoy reaching for this. So this was definitely an unexpected favorite of mine. All right, and then I just have two products left to mention. First is this Cover FX Monochromatic Bronzer Duo, and you guys, this has become my favorite bronzer in my collection. I like this even more than the Tantastic bronzer by Marc Jacobs, and I didn't even buy this when it first released. When they started teasing the duos, I was really excited, but more excited for the blushes rather than the bronzers. And in fact, I ended up purchasing 2 blushes right when they released, but did not purchase the bronzer. And then I was in store one day, and I think, again, I had like points to spend at Ulta, and I was like, you know what? I like bronzer. Why not give this a try? This is incredible. I absolutely just love the shade, especially of the matte blush. For some reason, it is just like my perfect bronzer shade, and maybe it really isn't, but in my mind it's my perfect bronzer shade, and I love the way my skin looks when I wear this bronzer. And then you also have the option of the more glowy side. Here is the glowy side, like on top of the matte side, so you can use the glowy side by itself, but if you are looking for like a glowy bronzy look, you can pair the 2 together, which I really like doing in the summertime. In the wintertime, I more just go for the matte side. I've told this story many times on my channel before. One day I came home from work, my daughter had destroyed this specific product. I left my house immediately and went and replaced it. I have never replaced a makeup product so quickly in my life. This is such a good bronzer. Wasn't like I almost overlooked this. I almost didn't even buy this. I almost was like, you know what, like I'm good with bronzer. I got my Becca Sunlit, which I'm not even going to replace anymore because I got this. I got my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I'm not going to replace anymore because Physicians Formula is shady and no longer cruelty free. And then, you know, I have my Marc Jacobs Fantastic, which I still do love, but I almost overlooked this. And this is now my favorite bronzer ever. And then the 10th and final product is the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. So I purchased this during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty last spring, and I almost did not purchase this. I saw this and I was like, oh, like that's cool, but I never reach for face palettes. Like I really feel like I don't need this. It was on sale for $19, I believe. I was like, you know what, I don't need it. But then I was watching like all the like 21 Days of Beauty recommendations and etc. And I heard so many people say, I highly recommend like pick up the Cali Contour Kit. So what did I do? I picked up the Cali Contour Kit, and thank the heavens I did, because I freaking love this thing. If you are the type of person that doesn't have a large makeup collection and you're looking for just something that is going to like offer you so much value, I highly recommend this. You have a contour shade, which I love. It's such a beautiful shade. You have an under eye setting powder. You have 2 highlights. Now I will say the highlights are my absolute favorite, but I can work with them. And then you have this beautiful bronzer shade as well as this beautiful blush shade. And I just love this palette. Also, knowing I only paid $19 for such an amazing product just makes me like joyous in my heart. But if something happened to this palette, I would instantly go replace this for the full price of $39 because I think it is that good. I take this anytime I go traveling, whether it be a long weekend, whether it be like a long week somewhere. I take this with me because it offers so much in one nice, easy, compact palette. And like I said, I almost didn't buy this because I was like, you know what? I don't really use face palettes. Like, I don't really need this. It's not going to be like a favorite of mine. And this is a serious favorite throughout like all of my collection. This is one of my favorite items in my collection. So after that, that is going to conclude 10 unexpected makeup favorites throughout my entire makeup collection. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and supporting my channel, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.